Well, El Centro de la Raza has been a part of the South Sound community for more than 50 years, serving around 500,000 people during that time.
Yeah, in honor of Women's History Month, we are introducing you to a local trailblazer who worked her way to the top, showing courage in the face of adversity to make a change here in the community.
Yeah, so our own Nikki Torres joining us now in studio. And Nikki, it may be news that El Centro de la Raza is primarily run by women.
Wow.
It is. So that's actually represented in the artwork around El Centro, although the only few can say that they have been there since the birth of El Centro de la Raza, one of which their executive director. This is Estela Ortega.
El Centro
de
la
Raza,
which translates into the center for people of all races.
This beloved community was the dream for one little girl in Texas.
Well, I grew up extremely poor. I worked in the fields of Texas, 8 or 9 years old, to help to make ends meet for my family.
From a young age, Estela Ortega manifested a better world, not just for her, but for all people, especially those of color.
The racism and do you really belong is, it's there, it's open, in terms of how one feels. And I mean, I could look back when I was like 6 years old and knew that I was being treated differently because of the color of my skin.
In 1972, Ortega, alongside her late husband Roberto and a few others, created El Centro de la Raza, envisioning equal rights, opportunity, and eliminating oppression. But it wasn't without a fight. Seattle was struggling at that time, and the war in Vietnam was creating a deep racial divide throughout the community. What is now a large organization in Beacon Hill was once run by just a handful of people who wanted to push beyond class and race barriers. Thanks to her tenacity and grit, there was a place where people in need could come and get basic human services, food, housing, counseling. They wanted a space to protect those most vulnerable.
There's people's lives who we truly have saved, where people are on the verge of suicide, and just on the wrong path, but because El Centro connected with them, it changed their lives.
El Centro prides themselves in empowering young people to thrive in authenticity. Leading that mission is Liz Weezar. She is the director of youth services for El Centro. She says kids and teenagers often struggle with a dual identity challenge. Many students are born in the U.S. but speak a different language at home. Their job as leaders is to let them know it's okay.
We amplify and say you're both. You're your home culture and you are the American culture, and it's okay to have both of these things and bridge them together. We always say you can have a burger and tacos too.
Feeling that common ground, it is what Ortega wishes for all who come through the doors of El Centro. That desire of wanting to give back is what keeps El Centro going across generations.
We have people who walk through these doors that were in the Child Development Center and now are adults.
One of those adults, Veronica Gallardo. She is El Centro's facilities manager. Her parents came to El Centro years ago for ESL classes in the 70s. Her family has been tied to this community ever since.
I have a daughter. I have nieces, and we all work hard to make sure that they have a safe space to come in the future.
El Centro de la Raza is the product of one little girl's dream for change. The hope is they've paved the path for the next.
We expect our people to be, to be creating businesses and be doctors and be lawyers and, work in government. But always come back, because that's where you're going to be really grounded.
El Centro also had a major impact during the pandemic. Not only were they helping students get services and also to families like food and other needs, they also played a role with helping kids with schooling. They offered help with their education. And they also provided counseling for kids and teenagers during a time that just felt so unstable. And for this full story, you can go to fox13seattle.com. Liz and Brian, back to you.
Appreciate that, Nikki. Thanks for being here. In Fox 13, we are celebrating the women who make Washington. Women who are out there just every single day making a difference in the community. If you know of anyone who should be profiled, shoot us an email, fox13tips@fox.com. We'd love to hear from you.